Welcome to Time Doesn't Exist, the illusion of time in modern physics. We live by it, track it, race against it. But what if time, the very thing we can't get enough of, isn't real? Welcome to Life Noggin. Time seems like the most straightforward concept, right? The past is everything that has happened. The future is everything that will happen. And the present is the only thing happening right now. But according to modern physics, that's not quite how things work. In fact, according to Einstein, time and space intertwined in a four-dimensional fabric called spacetime are relative. This means that time isn't absolute. It can't be measured objectively. Instead, it's subjective and depends on the observer's frame of reference. In other words, time is not the same for everyone everywhere. And that might mean that time doesn't exist outside of our own perception. Einstein showed us that time moves differently depending on how fast you're moving. If you were on Earth's surface, time would be passing normally. However, if you were near a black hole or zooming through space at the speed of light, time would pass much, much slower. For example, if you were to fall into a black hole, time would essentially stop. From your perspective, you would be falling forever. But from the perspective of someone who didn't fall in, you would be frozen in time. But let's take a step back from black holes and extreme speeds. Even here on Earth, time isn't exactly what we think it is. One of the theories proposed by physicists is that all of time exists equally. In other words, the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. According to this view, time doesn't really flow. Rather, we just experience moments in time as they occur. This idea is sometimes referred to as the block universe theory, and it suggests that all moments in time exist equally, but we can only experience one moment at a time. Another way to think about this is like a movie. A film contains many frames, and each frame is like a still image. When we watch the movie, we see the frames in sequence, which creates the illusion of movement. Similarly, all moments in time exist simultaneously, and our experience of time is like watching a movie. We only perceive the present moment, but all other moments are equally real, just like the frames in a movie. So when we say that someone or something is in the past, it doesn't mean that they or it no longer exists. It just means that we can't experience them directly. They are just as real as anything we experience in the present. And this idea goes even deeper. In quantum physics, which studies the behavior of particles at the atomic and subatomic level, time isn't even needed to describe how particles behave. This is because the equations that govern the subatomic world work just fine without time. Without time, these equations can describe how particles move and interact regardless of when they do so. This suggests that time is not a fundamental aspect of reality at the quantum level. But if time isn't real, why does it feel so real? Why does it seem like time is constantly flowing and we're stuck in its relentless march forward? Well, some researchers believe that our experience of time is an emergent property of complex systems like our brains. Our brains create the illusion of time in order to make sense of the world around us. In other words, time is a tool created by our minds to help us understand reality. Others argue that the flow of time arises from entropy, which is a measure of disorder or randomness in a system. According to this view, the universe started out in a state of low entropy and is constantly moving toward a state of high entropy. We experience the flow of time as we move from order to disorder. So what does it all mean? Is time real or just a figment of our imagination? Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe time is real in the sense that it is a useful tool for understanding the world around us. But maybe it's not real in the sense that it's an objective feature of the universe. Ultimately, the nature of time is one of the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. But as we continue to explore the universe, we may one day find the answer. Ever felt like there's more to this universe than meets the eye? Tell me your weirdest theory in the comments. Maybe it becomes our next cosmic trip. Subscribe, and let's keep wandering through the wild unknown, one mystery at a time. Until next time, keep looking up.